Hello, children of darkness, all of you aspiring witches and wizards out there. Today we're going to teach you how to brew potions with tricky Halloween spooky critters. No, I'm just kidding with you guys, but do you like my costume? So, when we think about potions and magical things in Halloween, we always think about like all these different little like Eye of Newt and frog breath and spider fangs and bat wings and wolfsbane, although that one actually is a real plant. But all these things, if you think back about our awesome Harry Potter books that say that, when you combine all these little bits of animals that have magical properties, when you combine them in the proper amounts, then we can create potions to do extraordinary things. Well, the actual fact of the matter is that there are some animals and plants out there that do in fact have real, almost magical qualities, and over time, some of them have been a little bit deserved, some of them have been exaggerated over the years by fiction and things like that, like wolfsbane and werewolves and things. But one of them does actually have some interesting properties and is quite famous for them. So, joining us today is this guy. This, everybody, is a cane or marine toad. So he's actually the largest species of toad on the planet Earth. And these guys are pretty famous with a little bit of an exaggerated, but in all honesty, a little bit of kind of a deserved reputation. So when we first think about these guys, obviously, we're going to be thinking about, sorry, he's still getting used to and getting comfortable here, and having him out here is a little stressful for him, so I don't want to be handling him too much. That's why also the gloves, obviously. But these guys, when you think about toads, is, licking toads. We all remember when Homer Simpson licked a toad, and Futurama, there is Hypno-Toad. But that is because all true toads do have something called bufotoxins. And bufotoxins are an actual poison that these guys will secrete when threatened from those two little organs right there. They're actually glands, and I can't remember the name of them, but we'll put them in the video right here. These two glands, when under stress or when they're squeezed, like when a predator bites down or grabs them, they will release bufotoxins, which can in fact be lethal to certain animals, dogs, cats, and even people in large doses. So these guys are naturally found in Central America and Northern South America. So we all know them being very famous for being in Australia and being this huge scourge in Australia, and there's a reason why. So these guys, the cane toads or the marine toad, is actually what they were originally called, and then they were called cane toads kind of colloquially for that reason when human beings decided that these guys would make great biological pest deterrence and pest control. These guys would eat the bugs in the sugarcane fields in different places like the Philippines and Hawaii and Jamaica. And so because they did such a really good job of that, they did end up getting introduced into places such as Florida and Australia. So these guys, as I said before, these guys are the largest species of toad on the planet. They're one of the top biggest ones. They're right up there with pixie frogs and the Goliath bullfrog in Africa. Those things are the biggest frog and toad species in the world. But these guys are the largest actual toad. Their original name is the marine toad, as I said before, but that's not like these guys actually live on the coast. They're just kind of called marine toad for some reason, although recent studies have actually shown that their tadpoles can actually live in very high salinity water, but that's neither here nor there. So originally, as we said before, they're from Central and South America. They got really famous for their bufotoxins by native people, which was at some point told to Western colonists. Different tribes would use them for different reasons. Some would use them for hunting. They, just like the poison dart frogs, they would rub their arrowheads on the bufotoxins like they would the poison arrow frogs and use that to assist in hunting. Others would actually use it for their kind of aphrodisiacal or psychological properties. And so, that's where the licking the toads thing comes from. Not specifically marine toads, but several other toads that do produce those bufotoxins that, in all honesty, have gotten some pretty interesting uses over the years. So they cause some sort of psychedelic thing when you lick the bufotoxins, but that's because it's a toxin, you guys. But lately, in the now 20th and 21st century, it's being used for a lot of things. It's being used in different types of medical things for like lowering heart rates and for things like using paralysis, even with something such as like Botox and plastic surgery and things like that, as well as in kind of the Eastern Asian cultures, like in China, it's an aphrodisiac. Things like for rheumatism and arthritis, they've been used before. But anyway, these guys, specifically he was actually from wild caught down in Florida. So they've been introduced to Florida. They're not naturally found there, but like a lot of things down in Florida, they were released. And this guy was was collected from there into there, and then he was sold into the pet trade, which is actually okay because almost every place that cane toads have now been introduced, they're actually seen as a huge pest because they are quite a detriment on the natural environment and the endemic species of those areas. Endemic being found there naturally, usually only there. But, and so these guys are quite the pest. So he was taken into the reptile hobby, and so we ended up getting him just a few weeks ago. But he's a cool little dude, still getting used to there. In the actual pet trade, these guys actually make pretty cool pets. They're very active, they're very lively, they will croak. They don't sing, but they will croak. They'll move around at night. They'll kind of eat everything like all frogs and toads will. Basically anything that'll fit in their mouths. These guys do get really big. I think the largest true recorded was a big male cane toad that was about 9.5 inches wide. So he's just a little guy. He's maybe from nose to butt, which he just kind of keeps peeing. That's what all that is pee and then water when I try to clean him off. But he's maybe about 4.5, 5 inches. So just want to talk a little bit about toads and specifically our little cane or marine toad today. When, yes, they do kind of get brought up into Halloween with all the potions and stuff, but bufotoxins are a real thing and they are technically harmful to a lot of people, and pets. So like in Australia where they're kind of decimating northern quolls and Mertens monitor populations because they're not found there naturally. That's something that you guys need to be thinking about when you think about kind of reptile conservation or just kind of thinking about nature is like, just keep an eye on everything, so like your pets that can be invasive, specifically like your house cat that we talked about in previous videos. Hopefully everyone enjoyed this video, that you got a real kick out of our cool new little interactive and kind of just interesting little cool pet herpetile amphibian, the cane toad, marine toad. I'm going to call him marine toad. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. You liked him. Hopefully you like everything that we're doing. Stay tuned for more spooky Halloween videos for the rest of this month. Stay tuned for other awesome updates from Jay-Z's Reptiles. Hope you're having a great day. Have a safe and happy Halloween, and we'll check you next time.